hour, we discussed over-the-counter remedies for allergies this season. What about your diet, though? It turns out that what you eat can affect your allergies more than you might realize. And here with what to consider when it comes to your diet and your allergies is nutritional health coach Deetra Branch. It's so good to have you this morning. And this is fascinating, right? We're entering a season, and actually I know some coworkers here have had allergies for a couple of months now. They've been suffering. Right. And this is something that happens all year long. How can our diet and the supplements that we take really affect that, make it worse? Can it?
Well, yes, our diet can certainly either make it better for us or make it worse for us. So for example, if we want to strengthen our immune system, we want to nourish it. In order to do that, we need to make sure that we're getting in a really good diet that's balancing our blood sugar, healthy proteins, quality fats, as well as generally non-starchy vegetables. And you want to go for nutrients that are going to be in there, such as vitamin C and quercetin. So vitamin C rich foods would be your citrus fruits, right? With the skin, the white portion, we want those bioflavonoids.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
You also want to make sure you're going to get peppers, spinach, cabbage, for example. Berries are good examples. Also really great foods that are going to have the omega-3s. That's going to be your flax, of course, your fish, chia, and even hemp seeds.
This is all fascinating. Now, you touched on it a second ago, but what do these actually do for your sinuses, for your maybe your mind when it comes to allergies? What's happening?
So what they're really focusing on here is regulating the immune response, the inflammation that ensues as a result of being exposed to histamine. That's the reason why you feel all itchy skin, rashes, watery eyes, inflamed sinuses, congestion, so forth.
So it's basically like giving yourself a defense on the inside
to
all of this. And there, of course, are outside remedies as well. But talk about the best ways besides food, or maybe even supplements to defend ourselves. Are there other ways as well?
There certainly are. So earlier we talked about food, right? Foods we may not want to consume at this time of the year would be fermented foods because they have histamine in them as well. Other foods that are going to be something of concern might be wheat or perhaps dairy. Again, you want to avoid things that you have food sensitivities to or an underlying sensitivity to, because they can also overstimulate the immune system and make you react to what's currently going on in the environment. Interesting.
Crystal was talking about honey earlier in the newscast. Should we lean in that direction? Should you try for that?
Yeah.
Maybe local fruits and vegetables as well?
That's a perfect option. Honey is something that people use quite frequently. Another one would be anyone that happens to have an infant right now and hopefully they're breastfeeding. Your baby's going to be getting that colostrum filled with immunoglobulins to also support a healthy, strong immune system.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because my baby, who was just born, a week and a half ago right now, he's sneezing. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? How are we going to help him? But these are ways to maybe guard against having him suffer from allergies as well.
Exactly. And on the table there, you're going to see I have probiotics, infant probiotics. That's a great way to regulate the immune system and the inflammatory response.
That's good that you mentioned these. So here's some resources too. Can you talk about a little bit about what you brought?
So what I have on the table there are some of our top products in the store that customers love to purchase and buy. We have homeopathic products. Allergy is a great option.
These are natural grocers, yeah?
Yes, especially if you're concerned with medications and interacting with medications. Homeopathics are a great option. I have Allergy. It's an enzyme-based product that's working on, again, that immune response, attacking the histamine so that it's not going to have that negative reaction in our body.
That's interesting. Can exercise help as well?
Exercise can be really great at boosting the immune system. You just want to do intensive exercising. And of course, exercise indoors if you're really sensitive to what's going on outside. And otherwise, afternoon or evening times would be a perfect time to exercise.
I know when I've suffered during the times when trees are blooming, budding, running outside doesn't help, you know? It's kind of defeating the purpose.
Right, but you can strengthen on the inside out, as we talked about earlier.
All right, any final tips or pointers when it comes to all of this? This is probably something that you might want to choose to tackle first, maybe before turning to medication, I would guess.
Ideally, and you want to eat this way year-round at best. If not, start preparing and doing the right things at least a month before the season hits so that you're well taken care of throughout the season. And of course, you can always get yourself more educated. There's plenty of resources out there, really great health practitioners. I work with customers in the store. I offer private coaching sessions as a complimentary service.
Oh, cool.
So I'm more than happy to work with customers. They bring in a food journal. We'll take a look and see if they're reacting to something that they weren't aware of before.
That's the thing. You got to keep track of what you're eating too and know that, you know, hey, that little thing that I sneaked, it might not be so good for what's going on. Yeah, possibly. Right. Okay. Well, again, this is the way to get a hold of Deetra Branch. And then, of course, I'm sure there's other resources available, too, within the store. That,
of course. We have a beautiful demo kitchen that customers can come into. We have classes every single week on nutrition and cooking.
All right, Deetra, thanks so much for that, bringing all that information into us. We'll be right back. Stay with us.